Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Let's continue to explore who God is and how it's making a difference in our lives and how we relate to Him and how we live with Him and how we live for Him. Today I want to talk to you about the God of pleasure. The God of pleasure. In Psalm chapter 16, verse 11, it talks about, "And at your right hand are pleasures forevermore." The idea of pleasure is the idea of satisfaction or enjoyment as over against the idea of necessity. You know, someone might travel a lot for their work. So, when they're boarding the plane, the stewardess might say to them, is this for pleasure or business? Are you traveling out of necessity because you have to? Or are you traveling for pleasure? Is this a vacation? Are you traveling because you want to? And, when we say it's for pleasure, there is an excitement, there's a smile, there's when we might say for business, and the steward might say, well, all the best to you. But if we say, we're traveling for pleasure, we're taking a holiday, and usually it's responded with a smile like, you have a great time. Well, why am I talking about that? Because I really believe that sometimes we don't understand that God is a God of pleasure. He's a God of pleasure. Yes, sometimes we go to Him out of necessity, but I think it's tragic if we never go to God just because of the pleasure of being with Him, the pleasure of being in His presence. I might travel to, let's say, some Caribbean island, and it's because I have work to do there, and I go there and I'm in an office or I'm in a building and I'm doing my work, and then I fly home. Well, I didn't really enjoy the island, did I? I didn't enjoy the pleasures of that Caribbean island, spending time on the white sand beaches or, sitting under the palm trees in the shade reading a book, whatever. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? If I go to that same island for pleasure, I'm going to experience it in a whole different way. And I believe that's true about God. If we never really think of God as being a God of pleasure, a person, a presence we go to just for the enjoyment of it, just for the satisfaction of it, we will never experience Him in fullness. You know what I'm saying? We can go to God in intercession and prayer and petition. We can go to God and read His Word because we want it to speak into our lives, or we're looking for an answer to situations we're in or whatever. That's going to God out of necessity, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. And we find Him to be a very present help in time of trouble. But I really want to encourage us to also go to God just for the pleasure of it, just for the enjoyment of being in His presence. I think we will find God is a God of great delights. He's a God of great pleasure. And that can transform our relationship with Him. All of a sudden, our relationship with God becomes a thing of joy, not just a thing of necessity. It becomes do you know my God? It's coming to Him and going, okay, God, what have you got for me today? It's like those little grandchildren showing up. You got ice cream? They come to Papa and Grammy's house and it's, do you have ice cream? Can we put water in the pool and play in the backyard? They love coming because it's a place of pleasure for them. It's a place of delights for them. Now, the reality is, yes, as they get older, sometimes it becomes a place of necessity. Papa, can you help me out with my car? I have a flat tire, or whatever it may be. Can I borrow a little money from you and pay you back next month? That's more necessity than the pleasures. And there's something kind of sad about that when we lose that. You see, children are good at expecting joy and pleasure in the presence of the people who love them. Well, shouldn't that be us with God? Shouldn't that be us? Shouldn't we come to God as His children, expecting delight and joy and pleasure at His right hand? And now I know we probably say, we need to be careful. We don't go to God because of what He gives us. Yes, I know that's true. But, I don't think there's a lot of danger in that, to be honest. If my grandchildren never got past, if they only ever came when there was ice cream in the fridge or water in the little pool out back or whatever, that would be a sad thing. And again, they wouldn't know me or my wife like they could. But when they come for just to come and visit, then we don't we as grandparents and parents delight in giving our children and grandchildren pleasures? We delight in that, don't we? Well, so does our Father, because He's a God of pleasure. Let's think about that today. And let's just go before Him and go, I'm just here to enjoy being with you. And we'll talk again tomorrow. God bless.